Let's talk about child behavior change after fever. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principles self-government. And in this video, we're exploring the question, does a child's behavior change because of a fever? In this video, we're going to talk about fevers and the impact that they do have on a child and on their potential behaviors. We're also going to talk about things that you can do to help improve behaviors in your children. You've probably noticed, maybe in the movies, when they're showing fevers in these old communities, old times when they didn't have medication to help decrease fevers, how people just become erratic. It's like they can't think and they can't focus on anything, and they're sort of almost like their brain is in a different place. This is because your brain function does actually alter during a fever. This is one of the reasons why it is so important to try to reduce the fever so that the brain chemicals can moderate and adjust, and that a person doesn't get hurt in more than one way. So one thing that happens with the brain chemicals when you have a fever is they make it so that you have less impulse control, you have less cognitive function, so you're not able to think very clearly. Everything seems very far away, very overwhelming. And so people oftentimes get short-tempered during a fever. Sometimes they'll even yell at people because they don't know how to manage all of the things that are coming in because their capacity has been diminished due to the chemical firings in the brain. Obviously, people function a little slower. I mean, they're not feeling good anyway, but really their brains are kind of foggy, and they oftentimes have low impulse control. So that's why you're going to hear that yelling, or sometimes their bodies even just start to move in strange ways when their fevers get really high. Fevers often cause sleep disruption, so people can't sleep. That means that is going to affect their cognitive function as well. So that makes life difficult for them. Also, there's so many physical aches and pains that go along with the fever that it makes it so that people start feeling like they're having a hard time coping. I would say a fever is the hardest part of the sickness usually for most people to manage. And so sometimes people just have meltdowns, whether it's anger meltdowns or they start sobbing and crying, they start worrying, they get emotional. There's just a lot of the chemicals in the brain are firing, and the person has a hard time maintaining that feeling of balance in the brain. So the short answer to the question, can a child's behavior change because of a fever? Yes, it can change because of a fever. Are you going to be able to fix that behavior during the fever? Maybe. I mean, how high is the fever and exactly what's going on, I don't know. But in general, if you can help pre-teach a person about the skills that they need to function and to process, if they know how to disagree appropriately with you, if they know how to accept a no answer and follow an instruction, then hopefully when you're giving them medicine or you're trying to help them get better from this fever, that they will be able to follow those instructions, accept no answers, and then they'll probably be able to manage a little bit better. Really, the key to good behavior is all in the pre-teaching, and it's hard to pre-teach for a sickness. But if you've just pre-taught skills of good communication and problem solving before a sickness occurs, then it could make that time just a little bit easier. One thing that I always did when my children had fevers is I always made sure that I would have time just kind of talking with them or talking to them in a quiet way, making sure that they had somebody to hold on to a little bit, so making sure they gave cuddles and those types of things, because they need to just feel that little bit of security that somebody's there. So often we leave people alone when they have fevers because we don't want to get sick. Maybe I didn't care about that, but I just felt like it was important that they knew that somebody always was going to be there. So make sure that you keep touching in with them from time to time. Some of the key things that I would share with you as far as pre-teaching your children for behavioral success, whether they've, going to be having a fever and experiencing some difficulties, or whether it's just regular day life, is to make sure to pre-teach some skills. There are 4 basic skills that if a person learns those 4 basic skills of self-government, it actually changes their communications with everyone. And they are very maturing skills. They're deliberate skills. They help them manage their anxieties, which they oftentimes have as children. So those skills are what I call the 4 basic skills of self-government. They are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. These 4 children's books each teach one of the 4 basic skills. So this red one, London the Race Says Okay, teaches following instructions. Porter Earns a Quarter teaches accepting no answers and criticism. Big Win for Quinn teaches accepting consequences. If a child doesn't get the opportunity to accept a consequence, then they don't learn self-government. That means we don't do something to them. They have to accept their consequence. And then this one here, Paige Takes the Stage, teaches the skill disagreeing appropriately. This is a super comforting skill for a person because then they can get their opinions heard and do so in a way that's calm. One of the steps to each one of these skills relates to calmness. So calmness is woven into all of them. They each have a skill set attached to them. This helps children to learn how to communicate even when things are hard. When a child has a fever, sometimes they get emotional, they start crying, they're very frustrated about the sickness, they're hopeless, because it's a hard experience. Any type of a hard experience is what I call a no answer. Life has many, many no answers. Steps are to look at the person or the situation. In this case, having a fever is a situation. It's not a person, and you can't really change it. You keep a calm face, voice, and body. You say, okay, this is what happened. Or you ask to disagree appropriately. It's kind of hard to disagree appropriately with a fever, but I guess you could try. And then after that, you just drop the subject. You stop thinking about it anymore, and you try to have the best attitude that you can. You maybe try to distract yourself just a little bit so that you don't have to think about the fact that that fever is a miserable experience. Children need to learn skills so that they can govern themselves. That helps them have less problems in all of their interactions. I think you'll enjoy my next class, which is all about the skills and principles of self-government and how to start getting those implemented in your home. That full-length class is called The Not-So-Known Secret for Parenting Success. Click on the link to that video next. I'll see you there.